one of the most devastating storms ever, Hurricane Katrina slammed into the Gulf Coast. The deadly storm forever changed the Gulf Coast when it made landfall.
More than 1,500 people died. Some 200,000 homes were damaged. It is considered the costliest disaster in U.S. history.
Here in Pascagoula, you can still see the effects of Hurricane Katrina. I'm standing here on an empty slab where a home once stood. And up and down Beach Boulevard, you'll see plenty of empty lots.
It literally comes up about to my head, which is about 20 to 22 feet.
Just the water and all this water.
Hi, I'm out here at the Pascagoula beach where the water and wind is picking up. The waves are coming over the barriers. I mean, it's amazing how the water and, like I said, the
now
winds
we've
are...
heard from Pascagoula that there are a number of people that have just been caught by the rising water. They're up in their attics, they're up on their rooftops, they're waiting. Jamie said there's a list of people who have called 911 and they're trying to prioritize, and as soon as the eye passes over and police are able to get out and help people, they will do so.
Probably 15, 20, 30 years from now, those of us who are still around will talk about the day that Hurricane Katrina struck.
Every hurricane, I always stayed at Scranton's. Floodwater started coming in. Our equipment was floating around. It sounded like the Titanic, with the dishes crashing everywhere, the refrigerators tipping over.
The damage, of course, was devastating everywhere to us all. Not only was my home a mess, I had just found out I was pregnant.
Just the amount of phone calls that we received that day, I'll never forget. 911 calls was coming in from all along the Gulf Coast. We was getting mass 911 calls from people in need of help. We want to do all we can to protect and serve, but that was a day that we couldn't do anything.
Our house had big hurricane shutters buttoned across the front of it, and we thought we were ready to go. But we came back to nothing but some brick steps and the risers for the house. So we moved to Mobile for a year and started recovering and helping our town recover.
Everything's gone. Beach Boulevard, it's all, the houses are gone. You couldn't believe any of the words. It just didn't make sense. But I remember seeing a little old lady walking in her yard. Her home was gone, there was nothing there, and she was digging through debris. And all she said to us was, "I'm trying to find my pictures." Those are the things that people lost. You can replace a house, but those pictures from when somebody got married or your anniversary, we didn't have communication, we didn't have water, there was no gas.
We all thought too we had cell phones, so we thought, oh, we're connected to the world. And you really weren't, because the towers were down. So I just remember too vividly, you had to go to the top of the 63 bridge and get connected to the outside world. Like, we didn't know for weeks that New Orleans had flooded. I remember seeing a television for the first time, I think it was in Mobile, getting gas, and I thought, oh my God, I had no idea.
The water started to come into the police department, knocked out our radios. We brought a motorcycle in, Harley Davidson, and set it in the middle of the lobby of the police department. The dispatchers was using the motorcycle in the lobby to communicate with the officers out on the street.
You know, it was a rough time. I can remember going up and standing on the balcony and looking out a couple of miles around me, just seeing nothing but dark and devastation, and going, oh my God, what are we gonna do?
I do remember that the new courthouse was an impromptu shelter. The folks who lived south of there had to escape the storm waters, and where they sought refuge was the second floor of the new courthouse behind me. And even though there was no electricity, water, or sewer for days, that's where they had to live in some pretty rough conditions.
People would find things in the yard as they would dig things up, and they would know that, oh, you know, here's a photograph that looks important to someone, or here's a piece of jewelry, or here's a bowl, whatever. And so we had a neighborhood repository under a palm tree with just this old piece of wood, and if you found something, you put it there, and everybody would go by the tree every day or two to see if any of their stuff had been dropped off. So it was a swap thing of what you found and what you'd left there. And that was neat, that people weren't running off with other people's things. There was a grace and a respect for the people around you and what they were suffering. But the better part of the story, I think, is the people who came to help us.
You know, people always say we come together in a disaster. It really was true. Churches, community centers, just all seemed to know what needed to be done, and we got it done.
People started helping us, people started coming together, the city started helping us.
Pascagoula's always been a city that's filled with loving, caring, compassionate people who want to help each other. After Katrina, those traits became extremely important.
It was just amazing to see people stop their lives, get in their cars and drive 10 hours or whatever it took to get here, sleep on air mattresses, and go out in the heat. It was transformative in my life and made me want to do volunteer work and recovery work.
You know, everybody's banded together with one goal, and that's to unite and bring Pascagoula forward. And they've done a great job.
There's been some changes, and all came because of what was the disaster is now being rectified and beautified right now because of how resilient we are as a people.
When I think about the relief and recovery effort, I have to think about those who were committed to being in downtown Pascagoula. I think about Johnson Brothers Jewelry, Scranton's, the Chenoweth family stayed here and continued to keep their restaurant open. They even later on invested in buying a historic building and creating the Grand Magnolia bed and breakfast and meeting hall. So it's companies like those that really inspire the rest of us to remain committed. That if they're committed to being here in downtown and supporting downtown, then it really helps us to keep focused on how do we help them confirm the decision they made and help them be successful. And then also think about the journey, if you will, of the Katrina cottages that were brought here shortly after Katrina. Around 18 cottages were brought to help provide short-term shelter for folks who needed it. The idea being that they would transition very shortly thereafter into a business incubator. They housed some businesses and it got very successful throughout the next several years. As businesses were leaving the Katrina cottages, the Anchor Square, and moving into downtown and throughout the city, we realized that the time had come to maybe have a different use for those. And a developer has recently converted those back into residency, a place where folks can come and live downtown. And it's a neat journey to me, or to see the evolution of these cottages that started as relief and shelter for those who were at their very low point to today being very neat, attractive homes for folks to live in as they live and play in downtown Pascagoula.
Pascagoula is a great place, and to look at what the devastation was with Hurricane Katrina to now, when we have a mall. Yes, that's what I call it, a mall, with the TJ Maxx and the Burlington.
You know, it's almost unbelievable to me how far it's come in just the last few years. Said, oh, we'll never have a Starbucks, we'll never have an Aldi's, we'll never have anything. Well, those people have confidence in us, and it's because we're Pascagoula. They're coming here because it's a great place to be.
And I can see so many changes recently in Pascagoula. We enjoy new restaurants and places to go and shopping on the highway and downtown. There's just a lot going on.
Going up the rivers, the restaurants, you know, that are here, it's all here and it's all within easy reach.
The city has made great strides with people coming in and some of our residents deciding they were positive that Pascagoula had a wonderful future and making financial investments in our town.
We're now in this building here, the Pascagoula Performing Arts Center, something new for the community to enjoy. If you look around town now and look at some of the new businesses that come along, new shopping centers down on Highway 90, that's a sign that Pascagoula is returning back to what it needs to be. People coming together, showing one another that we can survive.
Another piece of property that's been a part of Pascagoula's development is the riverfront. And we began early on with really two core missions, and that was looking to see how we could enhance the riverfront access for our residents, and downtown, revitalizing the downtown area.
And I think that was also a benefit of having so many churches and volunteer groups come in from all over the country. They were like, wow, you get to see this river every day. And we're like, yeah, but It's just a river, we see it every day. But that kind of spurred the development, I think, along the waterfront.
The PRA executive director at the time, Jen Dearman, met up with a developer. He and she got together and said, you know what, we can make residency work on that riverfront. That's such a great view, led to eventually 18 courtyard homes that have been there and are fully occupied.
And then of course the downtown is totally revitalized, and I think that was something that we started with a clean slate. We don't have to be known as that blue-collar little city anymore. We can be a vibrant community, and I think we are that now.
The downtown area had 4 residencies. With all the partnerships and the investments in residency, we now have 93 places that people can live in the downtown area, and just about all of them are occupied. This is the Hancock at City Center. And this is the product of great vision from the great Baber-Strunk family and the legislature coming together to partner to take an old abandoned Hancock Bank office building and to convert it into mixed use with some office on the first floor, residency on the top floors, and of course the rooftop Hancock Bank entertainment area.
Pascagoula looking at 2 philosophies, inside out and outside in. So Pascagoula is building itself up inside out. From school system to restaurants, to hotels, to shopping area, to park and recreation. Pascagoula is doing everything they can. So if there's any property in Pascagoula where they're looking at development. And from an outside in, Pascagoula looking at how we stand out to the public and the image of Pascagoula. We're doing things to showcase what Pascagoula has to offer.
If you haven't been to Pascagoula, we are a hidden gem over here. We have a beautiful beach. There's a beautiful park attached to it, a beautiful pier.
And our beautiful promenade out there where people enjoy walking and biking and rollerblading and with their children and everything. It's refreshing to the spirit to go out there and walk among the sea oats.
Everything's within 2 miles of you right here. So you can go right there to the La Pointe, you can go down to the beach, you can tour the beach, you can see the shipyards, our industry, Chevron and the LNG and everything on the east side.
I think Pascagoula is a lot more fun now. I think we've tapped into the recreational aspect of the things that we enjoy here. We've got all these other things, the new restaurants, the schools really are fabulous, and their facilities are, untouchable. And I think that's something that that quality of life is just what I think makes Pascagoula.
Look at our wonderful ball fields and the Center for Performing Arts at the high school, which is a fabulous facility, and just the joy around me with the way people in Pascagoula are and caring about each other. And sometimes I think I must live in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
When they say Southern people are the best, Pascagoula Southern people are better. We have places to eat, we have great schools, we have a great sense of purpose and community. I mean, when you come to Pascagoula, I think you feel the love. I don't think you'll come here and be like, ooh. No, you're gonna come here and be like, ooh, I like it. And you're gonna wanna come back and go tell your friends.
Look at Pascagoula now. We were down, but we back up. Why? Because we're resilient people.
There's a song that says, we started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom with Hurricane Katrina. And we decided as a community we weren't giving up, we weren't gonna leave, we weren't gonna just throw in the towel, that we would rebuild, we would do it together, we would commit to the community, we would commit to family, we would commit to each other.
It was a long journey. We look back on it, we think, oh wow, that was really hard, but now we're so much better off.
If I sum up Pascagoula, it is making the best of what it has. The property, the land, the community, it is making the best of what it has.
We have held it together as a community, bonded together, looked at a common goal that we wanted Pascagoula to be premier on this Mississippi Gulf Coast. And I think that's what we've worked toward as a community. Everybody coming together when there's some new business that comes, we support it.
If you haven't been here in a while, we ask that you would come home, shop at our business, invest your money here. Storms and life comes, but that don't mean it keeps us down. We bounce back, recover, and we keep moving forward. That's what Pascagoula has done. That's what this coast has done.
I'm a native. I've always had a good time living here. I had a great childhood growing up, but it's so much better now my children have a much better quality of life from all the things that the city and the county have prepared. Revitalize is a good word for Pascagoula. If you haven't been here in 20 years, come back and see, because this town is totally revitalized.
If you haven't been to Pascagoula, since we have rebuilt and rebranded ourselves over the past 20 years, you really want to come check us out. We got it going on.
Someone is looking for a place to visit, come out and have fun, come to our beach, come to our golf course, come to our restaurant, come to our stores, come to our performing arts center at our school district. A-rated school district tends to reflect an A-rated community.
I see Pascagoula now as a city that's thriving to move forward, and we are on our way up.
I think we're on the way up and can just keep climbing.
It's all here. We just got to make people discover it.
This city is resilient, overcomers, and we are now the movers and shakers.
Let's move together forward.
Great things are happening in Pascagoula, and our future is bright.
Come try us, come be with us. I feel pretty confident you're gonna like what you see, like what you experience, and say, when can I come back the next time?
Tell them, come see Pascagoula. We got it going on.